Here we go. Welcome to this unlisted side. I appreciate your support and gonna start this first reading for this bundle. And I was asking for some guidance, like of if there is a theme for this reading, and what I got was connection. So we're gonna see what more we get from the cards about it. See how it all holds and connects together. All right. Here we go. Oh, Three of Swords. So heartbreak. Yeah, connection to heartbreak. We can't really process it unless we really connect with it. So it is a important part of healing is to embrace those emotions, I feel. Or that's been my experience of it. And please share your experiences if you feel called to as well. But that's how I've come to experience it, that it will kind of stay as a burden, as a repressed part of myself, those emotions, unless I am able to build enough safety for those emotions to feel like they can come up, that they are not judged for existing. It's like, yes, they are not comfortable, but it is important to be there for ourselves in the grief and in the heartbreak. In this sorrow and all the difficulties. It's part of connecting to the whole. We can't just censor things out of our experience. Or we can for a while, but it gets pretty heavy to keep avoiding something. It kind of blocks like the natural flow of things. Queen of Swords. Yeah. Finding that truth. The truth of sort of truth. Being able to sit with the truth of how things are. Yeah. Ten of Pentacles. Connection. When we can do that, when we can actually sit with the truth, then it connects us to the whole, to the everything. So then we are more aligned to also finding that abundance in the physical. When we're not rejecting parts of ourselves, we're able to also attract what we need in the outside world. King of Pentacles. It's the connection to the land, feeling held by the land, and like all the prayers that the ancestors had deposited in the land, the presence of all those prayers and that love. And yeah, and the bedrock that holds all this life here on earth, the amazing reality that we live in. Connection and awareness of the gift of embodiment. The tower. Well, yeah, the tower is part of connection of everything too, because in a way, towers happen when we are resistant to how the cycle wants to go. Like if we are working with the cycle, then we're already like kind of deconstructing and renovating, making different the structures already before there's a need for it to be, if it's like too rigid, then it needs to come down with a bang and a crash. But if we are already like changing things, knowing that things need to change, things need to decompose and become something else, then we don't need the tower moments, but we can see like that sometimes they are just necessary if there is no, or like if the situation hasn't in a way been aware of the natural cycles of change. Ace of Cups. Yeah, that's like the Horn of Plenty for me. It's that abundance of unconditional love and that flow, and in a way like that ocean that represents Pisces is like the how all life started in the sea. I think that's why it's such a strong symbol. It's like it's where that started in a way, where it's all flowing from is how like the warmth from the sun and the material and spatial holding of the Great Mother created that, or like held space for that spark of life to start flowing and diversifying and changing through the ages, which is so cool. And it has kept going, and it will still keep going, even if it's not in the same forms. We don't know. We will see. But yeah, that love is strong. It's keeping going, man. And like if we can feel connected to that continuity, it makes a lot of life feel less daunting and feel, and we can focus on enjoying and being present with the process. The star, yeah, the natural flow of things. Yeah, accepting ourselves as what we are, connected to the waters, connected to nature, to the land, also connected to the stars at the same time. Yep. Yeah, letting it flow instead of getting too rigid like the tower. Accepting that can't be the full moon all the time. It's not the dark moon either all the time. It's in cycles. And when we are aware of the cycles, we can more relax into the shifting that is occurring in our lives. King of Swords too. The ability to change how we think. Butterflies there. Transformation. The ability to transform into something completely different, something new to us. The next phase, the next version, the next phase of our lives. Yes. Three of Cups. It's a celebration. Yeah, I really feel like joy and celebration and dancing, singing. I guess that rhythm connects us to joy and to feeling safe, and especially if we can do it together and in nature. It's very powerful in that way. That's why there used to be this sort of rites and ceremonies and, just, yeah, happenings out in nature where people would come together and celebrate. It also like connects us with that divine presence, or through connection with nature, but also the connection with, like, through our sensing body, but also like our spiritual body and our crown with the cosmic levels of outside of time. And yeah, so I really recommend that sort of thing, or just sitting together around a fire outside is really, it resonates pretty deeply with us because that's what we used to do for so long. So there's something very deeply human about that. That's what that made me think of. Ace of Swords. Yeah, the truth. Connecting with the truth. A lot of the time, we don't really know or see the truth. We see things through a specific lens, a specific perspective, and a lot of the time we don't see the full truth, not about ourselves or each other, really. So, I guess it's about that humility to realize that we don't always see things as they are. Either it's like, are we open to actually face the truth, or and we can't ever, I guess, fully know intellectually the truth. Maybe it's more like an knowing inside. Like not everything can be explained, but somehow can feel it. Because it's not just about the intellectual journey alone. It's nice to think about things and put words to things, but that's not the only way to know things. You can know by feeling, and that's one needed medicine in the world where people are pretty beside themselves and need to connect with the emotional body. That is part of truth too. We get so locked into these like swordsman thoughts and like the mental, but truth is not just in the mental realm. Truth is also the emotional body, the spiritual body. All of that is just different levels of existence in a way that bring us truth in their own way, as in through our nervous system with the sensing, and then like through our soul with the cosmic truth and those levels of experience. Yeah, it wouldn't be a full-on connection if death wouldn't be there too. That is part of everything. Part of the cycles, and really like the fact that we can lose things, can lose connections, we can lose loved ones, or just like endings. It doesn't need to be like a physical death. Really like change and like can be death of a version of how we thought how we thought of ourselves, or a way of thinking. And sometimes that is good and necessary, doesn't make it comfortable, because that old pattern wants to keep itself alive. But if you can move through that, then and be compassionate to yourself and guide your focus and your actions in a gentle way into something different, into something maybe it's a bit scary because it's so different. But yeah, then the endings are absolutely necessary for new things to come in. And that's why, yeah, it's important to accept that part of the process of the letting go, the grieving part in these processes. Page of Wands comes up, expressing our passion, taking steps of expressing our life force, making small new initiatives. Doesn't have to be so grand. It can be small steps really add up when we build up like new stories for ourselves. We can start small and just see if we can repeat new good and affirm like new patterns, new thought patterns, new habits. It's very like Virgo thing where, yeah, it does help our brain to form the new pathways if we repeat things several times. And then it becomes easier because part of it then gets delegated and established in the subconscious mind, where you don't then need to effort it so much. It becomes like half automatic in a way, where your subconscious and conscious mind are then collaborating in bringing forward that what you have established by gently guiding those actions to affirm the new, bringing that from your inner will, like from your life force, your divine spark. Yeah, can connect to that, like we said, through the grounding, through facing the truth about things, getting into the natural flow, connecting to the cosmic and the embodied side, and where they meet each other in your heart, and accepting the cycles of that it's not the same all the time and that things keep changing. And yeah, to trust that you have the power to change, even if it is first at a very micro level, can then ripple out and change more when you first start with the small things. Yeah. Have compassion with yourself, and like it's not always easy to feel connected, and sometimes like the emotions that need to come up and clear actually have to do with that lack of connection and the grief about that. And yeah, then find a way to make yourself feel connected again. Like for me, it was yesterday. I really had like this loneliness of the inner child come up, and then I went outside to the garden, took my shoes and socks off, and now walking barefoot in the grass and sitting there in the sun, feeling the warm sun on my skin and it feeling like a hug, and then writing about how I was feeling and being there for myself in that, and having gratitude for the sun and for the insects and plants. And then a butterfly sat on my foot, and a bit later it landed on the book too, and it felt really like a cute moment, and it really did calm me down and made me feel more connected again. So that's one way of like, or an example of how the connection with nature and with like our sensual, through our sensual experience, our emotional body, we can experience that we are part of something bigger, and yeah, feel related to it again, like not so closed off. So that's one way we can, by bringing ourselves to her, to be able to receive her love. It can help us like to remember what that's like, and to also have that love for ourselves, and then rippling out into our relationships through accepting ourselves and our emotions. We become more available to actually be present for each other, and yeah, to actually see each other as we are, where we are, instead of projecting the stories that we keep telling ourselves. We can then instead actually be present and let the emotions inform us. Let the spirits, our soul, inform us about things as well, not just the intellectualized stuff. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope this was I hope this reaches you well, and I will talk to you again with the next reading. Take good care. Bye.